afternoon. Ninety point nine FM WJAB. Good afternoon and welcome to Community News from the Hill. I'm your host Erica Fox, and today we are going to rock the runway. We're very excited to have for the first time here on the show Miss Willette Battle. How are you today?
Fine. Thank you for having me.
We are excited, and we hear about Paris, France, Milan, New York, Los Angeles, and even here in Huntsville about fashion. So first of all, let's give our listeners a little bio about you. Where are you from, and what are you all about?
Originally, I was born in North Carolina, and I've lived in I lived in Georgia, San Diego, D.C., Virginia. I've gone all over the place. Every decade, I've lived somewhere place different. So I claim the United States as my home.
I like that. That makes sense. That's good.
And I am a wife and a mother of three. I went to Albany State University in my undergrad and studied computer science. And I got a dual degree in computer science and art. Okay. And then I was recruited by Lois Mailou Jones, who really showed me what Paris was about. She's one of those black artists who had to find herself and be accepted in Paris and then come back, and then she got her name. So she recruited me to go to Howard. So I went there and got an MFA under scholarship.
So could humble beginnings go all the way back to, high school, junior high, home economics? How did you get the fashion bug?
Because it really wasn't even home ec. It was a means of survival. I'm built a certain kind of way. By the time I was 12, I was like 5'4". And
too, yay.
No, that's tall for 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
And so and kind of curvy, or not built like the models, like Cheryl Tiegs was hot back then, and so I had to alter my clothes. So I got a lot of hand-me-downs from adult women who was really smaller than me, but I had, shorter, not necessarily. So I had to adjust my clothes, and that's really how I started sewing, let's say. And it was hand stitching because I didn't have access to a machine or anything. In junior high, I did take my first home economic course, where you got to cook and you got to sew. You did everything home-based. And I was always ambitious. So my very first project, I remember, it was a light blue pencil skirt that had pockets, that had a slit, a zipper, and a waist. I mean, it was just like pleats and everything. And that was my first project. And I was like, I thought I was going to never finish that thing. But that one project taught me everything I needed to know.
Wow.
Which was tenacity.
Most definitely, especially for a sixth grader?
Yeah, I was about sixth grade.
That's cool. I like that. That is very, very cool. Pencil skirt. I can just see it.
Yes, it was powder blue.
And especially hand stitching?
Well, that was, most, they had sewing machines in class, but in order for me to finish it, I had to take it home because it was an ambitious project and it had to get finished. So I did do hand stitching at home.
So what did your teacher say?
She was surprised. She didn't think I was going to complete it because everyone else was doing, I won't say scarves, but something very simple. Aprons, that kind of stuff, you know. She didn't think I was going to finish it.
I remember seeing the classes going by in, I think, 7th and 8th grade, but I just never did home ec. But I just was always jealous when I'd smell the food.
Oh, honey. Yes, that's when I really learned how to cook, too. I mean, my mother you did your cooking in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But when I made my first strawberry pie with the flaky crust, where I made the crust back then they taught you how to cook in school. Yeah, that was
flaky crust.
with the flaky crust.
Now I'm hungry. So you go on to Albany State. So while you're studying computer science,
Mm-hmm.
what is the fashion bug? Is it still in the back of your head? Or?
Actually, my father was an artist.
Okay.
And so before I started school, which I started school when I was 5, he put the tools in my hand. He would just give me a charcoal pencil or something. So my studies is actually in painting, sculpture, jewelry making, so the fine arts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got not one class in fashion.
Really?
No, I'm not. Let me just say this up front. I'm not trained in fashion. I did my first fashion show in the 80s. And I was brought on because I was one of those kitchen-ticians who can do anything with hair.
Kitchen-ticians?
Yeah.
That's not a word, but it's a word now, right?
It is a word. in the circle, it's a word.
Okay.
And that's the people who, you go to their kitchen and they hook you up.
Uh-huh.
So that was me. I would have a hairstyle every week. And they was like, how you did that? Da, 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 da. This was before, like right now, everybody wear these locks. I was doing locks in the 80s, So, like the silky locks and stuff like that. So that's how I got into fashion, actually, by doing the hair and makeup. And because I was tall, by that time I was like 5'9". They didn't have, I was like one of the taller ones. So they said, can you wear this? I said, okay. So that's how I started modeling. And I didn't start actually building my line until I was working with a group of Girl Scouts. I've been a Girl Scout troop leader since 2005.
Oh, wow.
And all my girls started as kindergartners, and now they're all to complete their first year in college.
Oh, goodness.
And yes. And my daughter earned her gold award. She wrote a book
Really?
called Hair Like Mine.
Awesome.
So I was working with them to a recycling project. So I said, hey, let's do a recycle fashion show, because I had just done one with Low Mill the year before. I said, let's do a recycle, but you cannot throw it has to be wearable. It has to be a real piece of fashion. So I was working with them, and I realized, I didn't demonstrate, didn't have anything. I hadn't demonstrated what they could be capable of doing. So what I did, I went 2 weeks before the show, I went to my scrap closet, because as a troop leader or anybody who deals with school and kids, you have this closet that has a lot of extra material in it. And so started digging. At the bottom of it, I found some ties I had collected 20 years previously.
No, I'm pointing at your vest.
Oh yeah, you just realized it's ties.
Those are ties.
Yes.
That's just creative. Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, so and I found them. I had collected them 20 years earlier, because I've always loved ties. I've just been that chick who wore ties and vests and boys' pants, and I would wear wingtip shoes to school. And
wow.
While
But that was big in the 80s, though.
No,
Are you one before the 80s?
Before the 80s, there were bolo ties, there's an urban cowboy look and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was that
You're that kid.
That kid. So, but anyway, 2 weeks. When I saw those ties, I said, oh my God, because I had this thing about ties. And I said, what can I do with it? What can I do? And they looked so pretty together. And I started pinning it on me. And I said, oh my goodness. So right then I made 7 outfits out of ties. I didn't know. I just started pinning it on me. And however they looked, I said, I need to sew this. So I started hand stitched each type. So, and because I'm 5'9", but with my heels on, I can be over 6 feet, right?
Okay.
And everything hits me wrong, like either too short or, just wrong. So, but those ties were so long, it just turned me on. So I let them go since. I haven't let them go since. So I made 7 pieces, and the girls walked them in the fashion show along with their fashions. And that's how I started.
And what did the girls say about it?
They were inspired, I would say, because they didn't realize that, hey, you can actually make something, besides quilts, or you could actually look at materials differently, and that's the whole point, was to don't be so dismissive and discard things that you possibly can utilize in some other respect.
I went to a fashion show a few years ago here in Huntsville, and when you talk about creative. There was a dress out of, what are the little drink containers the kids?
Sippy cup, the boxes, the juice boxes.
Juice, no, not the actual box, but not metal, but the aluminum foil.
Oh, the sun
kiss, and
yeah,
Capri Sun.
Capri Suns.
Out of those.
Yes.
I've seen a skirt out of like Taco Bell sauce packs.
Yes.
And I'm like, now that's just creativity in a whole new world.
Well, I mean, they have this program called Destination Imagination, and they make stuff out of duct tape and stuff all the time. Hats, dresses, gowns, all the time.
Wow.
Every year there's a competition for a prom gown and an outfit, and you can win scholarship money.
Let's see how creative they can be.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know that it wasn't fabric. So.
No, well, go for it. Make it happen, kids. I'm talking with Willette Battle. She's a local fashion designer, and something huge is about to happen for you in September. And tell us about how you are going to, or why really I should say, not how, but why you're going to Paris City for Fashion Week. And it's significant.
Well, it was a shock to me. I was invited, and I thought it was a joke. You know, you get those prank emails and stuff. So it turned out to be true. And so I thought, instead of me just going by myself, I could go and come back, and it really not mean much. But because of all these years of working with, let me do a shout out for Alabama Fashion Alliance. They have a fashion week twice a year, every year. And not everybody who needs to know knows about the talent in the media, in the model arena, the makeup artists, everything that goes into the tech people, everything that goes into putting on a fashion show or a presentation. It's just not communication. It's not out there like it should be. And so I said, well, I can take this opportunity to maybe put a light on what we're doing here, because the skill and the talent is going beyond Huntsville and going beyond Alabama. I say that because I have two ambassadors for my line, Alita and Tiffany Pearson. Through this process, now they've been published before, locally, or have been on posters and stuff like that, but through this process they're now internationally published, because we've done other magazines. We have other photographers coming from other state parts of the country to come and photograph the talent that we have here.
So when you say publish, you mean pictures of their works and their designs?
My designs, they're models.
Oh, okay.
They're models, yeah.
Okay.
And the makeup artists who do their makeup and stuff. I mean, whoever is part of the process, their ambition is to get published and to be seen.
Okay.
And if you're not out there, it's not going to happen. If you don't reach, it's not going to happen. So I thought through this process, I can reach further for everybody in concern. You know what I mean?
That's nice.
And put Huntsville, Alabama on the map, because I checked with the tourist bureau and stuff, and they don't know of anyone who's been invited to Paris as a fashion designer to showcase their work. And I'll be on the first floor of the Eiffel Tower, and they just started doing fashion shows in the Eiffel Tower. I believe it was in 2015. So I'm like kind of that's why I thought it was a joke, but kind of shocked, so I'm excited. And we're now looking to be able to take 4 models with me. I can't personally pay for them to go, so we're looking for sponsorships and stuff like that. But by hook or crook, we're gonna try to make that happen, because if they can walk in a Paris show in the Eiffel Tower, they've already done New York. That's the mecca of fashion. You know what I mean?
So your models have already done New York, or have you done New York?
I've done New York.
You've
also.
Done New York.
Yes,
okay.
I've done New York, and some of my models have done New York too. And I'm like, and then they come back here and they get lost. You know what I mean? It's not known. Did you know that? Did you know? See what I'm saying?
No.
They get lost. So I'm trying to get the word out. Say, hey, we got a vibrant industry here. That just when you have those events, and you need a fresh face, people who can speak, very intellectual individuals, people who need to shoot you want good imagery. I mean, we have those people who works these kind of shows, you know. So when they work these shows, that's their point. They want to get their work, because all of it is work. Each photographer has their own eye. Right. And they see the image in a different way. That's why I like to work with different photographers on the same set, in the same event. So I mean, that's what my goal is to not be there by myself.
That's a big, huge deal. Congratulations to you. And I'm amazed that this is just like 4 years old, 5 years old in terms of having this show at the Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower wasn't open to fashion shows. My understanding, they didn't open it to having runways in the Eiffel Tower. They used to have it right there on the Champs-Élysées.
Yeah. We have a song by Najee on one of his CDs, and when the CD came out, we're like, "How do you say that?"
Yeah, this is for one of my friends who. Okay, I heard this word years ago, but when it came up, I actually said Champs-Élysées, and I died as it was coming out of my mouth. And so anyway, they usually have it right there in the square, but to have it in the Eiffel Tower, I believe it started in 2015.
Interesting. I'm sure the view. I've never even been out of the United States. Oh my
goodness!
But the windows.
Oh my goodness! They have a glass floor in part of the Eiffel Tower. The older I get, the more cautious I am about heights. So I've been doing my video looking and researching and all this kind of stuff, and I'm trying to prepare myself. I'm like, all I need to be is in that corner with the models, and I'll be all right. But you have to climb the stairs to get to the first floor, and the first floor is not like on ground level. The first floor is several meters in the air.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay. That's why, if I got my crew with me, my support system, we can joke all the way, and we can do what we need to do to make it to the top of that.
I'll be in the corner watching you down on the floor.
I don't think I'll be able to walk on that glass floor, though.
It's becoming such a big deal with a lot of architecture. They're having glass bottoms, and over there by the Grand Canyon, there's a glass. I'm like, no.
Yes, no.
I can't even get on glass elevators without just standing straight looking at the door. I can't look around, and it's all because of a high dive at Point Mallard that I had the nerve to jump off of one time, and so now heights are not my friend. But I'm glad that you had this wonderful opportunity, and you and I talking, you were saying that out of this, I don't know, it's when you come back or are you going there, you're the first. Are you the first African American?
That too.
So talk a little bit about that.
All I can do is ask and do research, and I'm the first African American. I know, especially first African American out of Alabama, also out of Georgia, to showcase in the Eiffel Tower. So I don't know how to take that until I get there. I really don't.
It has you speechless now?
Yeah, because I'm all about doing the work. Before I came here, I was still I call it my dungeon, putting something together, because I have a show this Sunday in Birmingham. It's my pre-Paris show. It's called La Route de Paris, the African Diaspora. So La Route de Paris, the African Diaspora. And what the focus is to emphasize the tremendous African influence that is in Paris. Because when you think of Paris, you don't think about black people. There's a lot. And so I wanted to bring, that's just part of the educational
show going to take
It's
place?
going to be at the Botwell on Sunday. Doors open at 5. Yeah. It's going to be in Birmingham.
How can people find more information about that?
You can go to my Facebook page. It's Fit to Be Tied Couture. That's the name of my line. FIT, the number 2, B, the letter B, TIED, Couture, COUTURE. And there's a link there, and and I have an Instagram page, which is Willette's Prism, which is my studio at Low Mill. I don't know if you knew I was one of the artists at Low Mill. I'm celebrating my 10th year.
Wonderful.
And I have not moved. I'm in the same studio space, number 309 at Low Mill, and it's Willette's Prism is the name of the studio. So that's my Instagram.
So you've worked with Girl Scouts, and what do you tell, young people, boys and girls that may want to get into fashion designing? If they just, simply ask, how do I go about it? What do you tell them?
I would ask them why. What's your purpose? What's your purpose?
I want to make cool clothes.
Well, then, if you want to make cool clothes, don't follow anybody in particular.
Mm-hmm.
One of my challenges is when you still have to apply to certain things, and they ask you, who do you follow? Who is your inspiration? Who is this, that, and the other? And they expect you to say somebody like Michael Kors or something like that. I'm of the mindset that because I absorb a lot of my environment, and if I get all caught up in what you're doing, I can't do what's authentically me. So I would tell them to be as authentic to themselves as possible. That's where the newness comes. That's where innovation comes. So even if you should see something, try to tweak it. Not just add a strap to it or something like that, but disassemble, rearrange. Just do it differently.
That's like the movie Pretty in Pink, when Molly Ringwald got the dress from her friend and dad found a dress, and she tore them apart and made her own dress. I love the fashion design that she had in that movie. And she was a geek, nerd in the movie, and just was disrespected all around. But I'm like you. I try to be a little different. I'm from California, so we would wear Davis up north by Sacramento.
Okay.
We would wear plaids all at the same time.
Exactly.
And we wouldn't think anything of it. And my hair used to be purple when I was a senior in high school, and so I think, as you're saying, that being authentic and just be yourself.
Exactly.
And let your design ideas flow.
And let me just say, not everybody's one thing I have found, those who you thought would be the loudest cheer squad for you will not necessarily. I think that's because of fear and uncertainty. They're fearful of where you may go and uncertain to where you may land and where it may take them. And if they want to be part of your life, it is shake it up a bit. So I think I say don't take it personal. Keep it moving, because all of it will come back around again. That was one of my challenges, though, because if you stay authentic to yourself and you keep it moving, even though those that you thought was going to be your most supporting source may not be, you're open and you're still available to others who may not understand your vision, but they love what you're doing. They love the energy, if you're really passionate about what you're doing. And I think that's why I have this opportunity without knowing, because I'm not, there's many designers here in town. Some of them have their own boutiques or, many designers here in town. And I wish the best for all of them, and if I could ever bring anybody on, you know how we say, I don't hate on anybody, because a dress isn't necessarily a dress if you're designing it, if it's coming from you. Everybody has their uniqueness, so I don't feel threatened, and I would say that if you go in it and you pursue anything, it's not a competition.
Right. All have the same goal.
It's an exhibition. Show yourself. It's not a competition.
So in the few moments we have left, I love that you have a double HBCU experience, Albany State and Howard University.
Yes.
So what was that like for you, especially with you being in fine arts and drawing and fashion? What was that like for you?
Albany State is a smaller, back in the day, that's when we did quarter system, was a smaller HBCU. It was a struggle, because I came from San Diego and went to Albany State. Not immediately. I took a year out, but I wouldn't anyway. And but if you're about your grind, somebody's gonna see you and help you out. I had no money, but there was somebody in financial aid who said, "Hey, I see what you're trying to do. Let me help you out." You know what I mean?
Yes.
I didn't necessarily know who to go to, where to, but just be authentic, be truthful. Don't be trying to get over. Just be available. I think volunteerism and being open to helping other people, even when you don't even have the strength or energy sometimes, is a good character builder. I think that's some of the things that's missing today, is that kind of let me give without thinking about what I'm going to get. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so Albany State, love it. This process, I am establishing 2 scholarships. Wow. One is for Vernon Williams, who was my departmental assistant advisor at Albany State. Mm-hmm. Bless his heart, he's 80 something now, I believe. Mm-hmm. But he from Louisiana. Do I need to say more? Mm-hmm. And he kept me straight. And whenever I said I wanted to go from computer science and add some art classes at electives, he said, "Come on, baby." So whatever you want to do, come on, baby, whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. He showed me how to exhibit. He showed me all kinds of things. So I'm establishing a scholarship in his name. And at Howard University, it's supposed to have been like a 2 or 3 year master's program. I was there for 4 years, and they kept me on scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they really had faith in me. Mm-hmm. And I'm establishing a scholarship in the name of Lois Maylou Jones and Dr. Benjamin. Those are the 2 women. Dr. Benjamin is a renowned Black art historian. She has several books out, and Lois Maylou Jones is, like I said, a renowned Black female artist, painter. Mm-hmm. And so I'm establishing a scholarship in their names for people who were in my situation, who wants to blend the it's like a STEAM scholarship, where if you're in the sciences and want to maybe take a class in art, and mm-hmm. you might need some money for supplies. Right. Then you have that, and vice versa. If you want to take a class, if you're in art, you want to take a math class or some kind of science class, like a computing class, mm-hmm. a programming class, just as lower level class, just to see where you are and break that another way of thinking, because I think art and computer science programming, to me, it's the same. It's just different tools. It's mm-hmm. just problem solving. Mm-hmm. And so
definitely. Mm-hmm. I just love how STEM, and I said all the time, STEM is STEAM, mm-hmm. But everybody's making each one of the letters work. Yes. And they're becoming very viable. And so I can appreciate how you are paying forward to people with your experiences and the challenges that you may have had. Now you're going to Paris, mm-hmm. which is just awesome. But now you want to pay it forward and help some others that will be coming behind you. So again, if anybody wants to see you and your work, you have a show again this coming Sunday. And tell us yes. where, when, and what time.
It's in Birmingham at the Bothwell Auditorium. It's right off the freeway, not hard to get to. It's at doors open at 5. Show starts at 6. And there's capoeira performers, African dancers, mm-hmm. African drummers. So it's more than just a fashion show. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be several. I'm the only designer, but there's going to be several segments that's going to emphasize different aspects of what I've done. Mm-hmm. Also, when I come back from Paris, initially I was going to do a pre-Paris show to test out my Paris show before I went. Mm-hmm. But instead, I'm going to bring the Paris show back. Okay. So whatever I do in Paris is coming back, and that show is going to be out of synthetic hair and ties. That look.
The designs are
yes,
wow.
Yes, and you can get a little taste of that. I have you come to my page, you mm-hmm. see, because I did a line called "Always in My Hair," which is a tribute to Prince. She's always in my, yeah, and so each piece is named after one of his songs. So I'm taking the hair pieces.
That's interesting. Paris. That I can just try to visualize that. But tell us your Facebook page again. People can find you.
Facebook page is Fit to Be Tied Couture, FIT, the number 2, BTIED, Couture, COUTURE, and on Instagram, Willettes Prism, WILLETTES_PRISM.
All right. Miss Willette Battle, local fashion designer going to Paris.
Have me back when I return from Paris.
We'll have to do that, most definitely. Maybe we can set up.
You got to come to that show. that.
I want to see the hair equaling prints. That's interesting. Thank you so much for being here on Community News from the Hill. Congratulations to you.
Thank you for having me. Thank y'all so much.
That's right. Hashtag HBCUs matter. Shows you why. This is what can happen, and you can come to Alabama A&M and major in fashion, apparel, merchandising. Start here, go anywhere.
Who knows? I might be working here next semester.
Hey, that's what you said. All right. We just might need that. Thank you so much. We look forward to talking with you again. Coming your way next, an update from NPR News, followed by its award-winning news magazine, All Things Considered. Thank you so much for tuning in to Community News from the Hill. I'm Erica Fox. Have a great day. For real?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.